So in general, we're not sure who the good guys are, but it's definitely not the British.
Yeah, the British definitely are pretty consistent. Honestly, everyone that's not involved that keeps sticking their goddamn noses in it.
So the United States,
Pretty much. The UN,
the
especially.
UN. Well, the
the
UN
League
is
of Nations.
the League of Nations was garbage,
They were garbage.
and they know it.
Just let these people solve it. Anyway.
Honestly, I don't know. Like that's the thing too, right? Is like no one knows how to solve it,
Yeah.
and everyone who's generally moderate keeps getting
by
shot by like radical Jews.
Within hours of Ben Gurion's statement about the creation of Israel, the Arab League were preparing to enter Palestine in order to re-establish peace, and according to the Egyptian government, to restore security and order and to put an end to the massacres perpetrated by the terrorist Zionist gangs against the Arabs and against humanity. 34 villages had been attacked by the Stern Gang and the Urian.
I like how they're called gang, like the Stern Gang.
Yeah.
There's that. What's that famous movie that like has like the Axe Gang in it?
Matilda.
Yeah, by by that Japanese director, Danny DeVito.
Hayao Miyazaki. Al-Abbasiyya, Beit Daras, Bur al-Saba, Al-Kabri, Haifa, Barat Kasir, and many other places
Jesus.
suffered similar atrocities.
Did you just nail that?
I think I did.
Damn,
I'm gonna
dude.
pretend like I did.
I'm gonna pretend with you.
They all suffered similar atrocities and were carried out over Deir Yassin. In all, about 13,000 Palestinians were killed, and 737,166 people were forcibly evicted from their homes.
Cool.
The Arab population of Acre, Jaffa, Lod, Al-Majad, Ramla, Safedad, and Tiberias were expelled. At 1 minute past midnight, on the day that Israel came into existence, it's like a spell.
Yeah.
1 minute past midnight, on the day that Israel came into existence, the Arab armies began moving into Palestine.
Wow. All right.
As agreed between the Arab governments, the joint Syrian and Lebanese forces would attack the northern flank. The eastern front would be the preserve of the Iraqi and Jordanians, while Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen would tackle the south. So it looks like the Middle East is united now in trying to wipe Israel off of the map.
Right. Yeah.
Prayers were said in mosques across the region, calling for success in the holy war for the liberation of the Holy Land. Jesus Christ. At dawn on the 15th of May, 2 Egyptian columns advanced into Palestine along the coast road and occupied Gaza. They encountered resistance at the fortified Jewish settlement of El Dangor, which they eventually overcame before putting the town to the torch.
Jesus.
The Egyptian forces entered the city of Gaza early in the evening, where they regrouped, ready for the next phase of the operation. Meanwhile, the Egyptian Air Force bombed Tel Aviv, destroying 6 aircraft on the ground and a runway and other airport installations belonging to the Israeli Defense Force. And the Jewish communities at Beit Hanun and Beran Eshak were also attacked in the air. The Iraqis crossed the River Jordan at Naharirim, 10 miles south of the Sea of Galilee, and the Jordanians did the same further south to occupy Jericho.
Okay, so I have Jericho?
Jericho, yeah.
Like the Jericho missile.
Yeah, I think there's a town called Jericho.
Uh-oh.
In the north, the Syrians claimed to have driven Jews out of 3 settlements and to have shot down 1 enemy plane, while the Israelis claimed to have killed 200 Arabs in a fight at Malakar, a village close to the Lebanese border. The Egyptians planned to secure a line from Al-Shaddad to Hebron before linking up to the Jordanian forces and mounting a joint expeditionary force deep into Jewish territory. 2 sections of the Arab League entered the old city of Jerusalem, a Hebrew stronghold, placing artillery at strategic positions before commencing a mortar bombardment. At Acre, the Jews captured 4,000 Arab soldiers, while they also claimed to have drowned 500 Iraqi infantrymen by opening up a dam near Degani. In Tel Aviv, the Egyptian Air Force continued its bombing raids, with its civilians being shot down in the street, while a bus station suffered a direct hit which killed 41 people and left another 60 wounded.
Holy fuck.
The airfield was also targeted, with hangars and hastily repaired runways being struck again. All of the Arab aircraft returned to Cairo unscathed. On the 19th of May, David Ben Gurion, Prime Minister of Israel, informed the provisional government, at the moment the enemy controls the air. Everybody here knows what that means for Tel Aviv. Control of the air gives the enemy a considerable advantage, but our people are not panicking. There are grounds for considering that this situation will not go on for very long, which seems optimistic to me.
Yeah, considering we're still talking about this in 2020.
Yeah.
When was this?
1949.
Oh, no.
Fighting continued in Jerusalem with sniper fire and ordnance and armored cars whizzing around. The Jews were said to be fleeing in a panic with heavy losses in the old city. The Haganah admitted that the Arabs had captured the Sheikh Jarrah area of the city, with the Jewish contingent forced to take refuge in the Hebrew University and Hadassah Hospital. The Secretary General of the Arab League stated that the purpose of this invasion was not merely to defend the Palestinians, but to prevent the establishment of a Zionist state. Egyptian troops occupied Beersheba after meeting fierce resistance and also captured the settler town of Deir Sini after 10 hours of bitter fighting. On the road to Nablus, a single Israeli armored car fired rounds at a convoy of 7 Arab army vehicles and put them to flight.
What? Wait, a single...
Israeli army car fired rounds at a convoy of 7 Arab army vehicles. Okay, so a single Israeli car was able to fend off 7 Arab vehicles.
Alright, well...
Which is objectively impressive. At Nib Yaakov, 5 miles north of Jerusalem, Jewish settlers abandoned the town after being overrun by Arab forces. 4 settlers were killed, 17 injured. The Egyptians captured the village of Ramat Rachel and inflicted casualties there before going on to take the strategic objective of Majdal, 30 miles from Tel Aviv. In Jerusalem, Israeli forces were surrounded and artillery was falling heavily into the Jewish enclave. U.S. Consul General Thomas C. Wasson was in the Old City trying to broker a truce between the two sides of the situation, and the Holy City deteriorated.
It's like, hey, look at this U.S. guy, guys. He's going to save the day.
This is the guy.
This is the one after 20 or so.
Thank God. They've been sending all these bureaucrats in, and now Thomas C. Wasson, Consul General.
He's not going to fuck this up.
No way.
No way.
While heading to a meeting to discuss the issue, he was caught up in the melee and shot dead.
No!
He didn't even get a chance to get to the peace talks. He was shot in the street.
Wait, so now the U.S. has to be involved.
I guess. That's amazing.
Holy shit.
That was like, his whole life was just in that one paragraph. Those 2 sentences. He was going to solve the Palestine conflict, and he was shot before he could even get there. At the United Nations, the Security Council demanded a ceasefire to begin at midday on the 27th of May.
Okay, UN.
The Arab League issued a statement of rejection, claiming it was the Zionists who were the aggressors.
What?
For declaring their independence within the Arab territory.
Alright.
If the Arab government failed to react to this provocation, public opinion would oust them from power and replace them with a leadership that would engage the Jews in war. So the Arabs had no choice but to confront the Jewish state. The fighting continued. The UN is fucking useless.
They really are.
This is goddamn.
They're just like, yeah, hey guys, stop. And then they're like, what are you going to do? what are you going to do?
You have no power here.
Basically. I mean, like, yeah. What are they going to do? They can't do anything. They're just a bunch of people sitting at a table. Yeah.
After intensive artillery bombardment, the village of Izdad, north of Majdal, was captured by the Egyptians. They were now within 20 miles of Tel Aviv.
Just so you know, you're really nailing these names.
Oh, thank you. Well,
I believe you are. I'm not going to question it.
As long as I believe.
Yes.
In Jerusalem, the Jews in the Old City finally surrendered, having been under siege for the previous 6 months and under direct attack for 2 weeks. They were suffering from food shortages, dehydration, and they were completely surrounded, and the choice was either surrender or die. 350 Israeli prisoners were taken to Jordan, and 140 wounded were taken to a hospital in the Old City. In another part of town, the only interruption to the shelling came when the Arab fighters stopped for lunch.
Jesus.
Once they had eaten, they resumed the pounding of the university, where Jewish mortar bombs had earlier been fired in the direction of the
Pounding of the university is an unfortunate choice of words.
It's an aggressive, yeah, I don't need that image. The UN continued to call for a 4-week truce.
Shut up, UN!
And with both sides now entrenched in their own territories, with the Jews controlling Galilee and the coast as far as Izdad, and the Arabs in the Negev and the inland regions, the two parties indicated their willingness to stand down.
What? Really?
Apparently, because now they've got, like, now it's kind of like it is now, where there's, like, they're in half and half.
Okay.
They both have their own territories.
Okay, alright.
The Israeli Prime Minister had earlier told his parliament that the Arab plan to invade from the north, south, and east had been pricked like a bubble. We now control more territory than we did 3 weeks ago, but we cannot ignore the heavy losses we have suffered. What the hell? I don't think he is very aware of what's going on.
The general?
The Prime Minister of Israel.
Yeah.
He just seems to not understand that he just lost a shit ton of territory.
I don't think they had the territory really to begin with.
No, not super. On June the 9th, the ill-fated Count Bernadotte had been able to announce that both Israel and the Arabs had unconditionally accepted the terms of a 4-week truce, and that they would work towards an equitable and peaceful solution to the Palestine problem. After the bloodshed of the past few weeks, things finally can be said to be looking up.
Okay.
So they basically, for now, got it out of their system.
That was a pretty short war. I gotta say.
Well, the next chapter is called Looking Up ?
Uh-oh.
So that's foreshadowing because I've heard one.
I feel like that's not just foreshadowing, that's just, you know... It's just someone saying...
We're really... I'm gonna push it, actually. We have 10 pages before we're at the next part, so I'm just gonna knock through these.
We might as well, yeah, we're getting there.
Looking up. Oh, sorry. Looking up? One day you're living in Palestine. The next, the land beneath you has been renamed Israel, and as an Arab, you're no longer welcome. This despite the fact your family has lived in the area for hundreds of years, the house has been yours for generations, and you have toiled the land since time immemorial. That's a little...
I feel like this book has a little bias. A little bit of bias. A little anti-Jew here.
The absentee property law was instigated on the 14th of March 1950 and allowed for the new state to confiscate all land belonging to the refugees, almost 750,000 of them. Jesus.
Oh my god, that's not even a law.
The law of return, meaning a return after 2,000 years in exile, allowed for unlimited Jewish entry into Israel. Come on, guys.
The law of return.
We get to come back after we've been gone for 2,000 years. Oh, what a coincidence. We've been gone for 2,000 years. There was no shortage of tenants for the properties vacated in haste, and there was no right of return for the Palestinians. For the Arabs who had braved the Israeli onslaught, they were granted citizenship of the new state under the Registration of Residence Act of 1949. However, they were placed under military administration and remained so until 1966. Following the War for Independence, Israelis occupied a total of 78% of the former state of Palestine, but the inhabitants of the remaining 22% would not give up without a fight. In retaliation for Deir Yassin, Arabs killed 50 Jewish fighters at Gush Etzion after they had surrendered. Meanwhile, the Israeli Defense Force committed atrocities in the villages of Alaban, Salaba, Safsa, Jish, Hul, Banat, Deir al-Assad, and Arab al-Muwasa.
Is Chris nailing this?
We're going to keep playing.
We're going to keep playing the game.
Play. The Jewish town of Tarat Yehuda was attacked with one woman and 2 children slain.
God damn it.
In response, Unit 101 of the IDF, Israeli Defense Force, under the command of a young committed Zionist named Ariel Sharon,
That's a cool name.
tracked down the assailants to the village of Queba, where they killed 69 civilians and leveled the building. They gotta stop.
It was just a few people.
Something horrible happens, and then the opposite side's response do something more horrible.
Yeah.
It's not like eye for an eye. It's just like...
It's eye for a spleen.
You killed several children in front of me, I'm going to destroy your village. It's that. Unit 101 had earlier attacked the town Al-Barij in the Gaza Strip and slaughtered 20 innocent people, attracting criticism for its heavy-handed tactics. Between January and May of 1953, 108 Israelis died in raids by Palestinian guerrillas. In the same period, 295 Arabs were killed, the majority of whom were civilians. In violation of the Israel-Egypt Armistice Agreement, the IDF forced the evacuation of almost 3,000 Arab villagers from the town of Fallujah. For the first time in April 1953, Arab terrorists attempted to attack Israel along its Mediterranean coast, but one boat was captured and another escaped from the unsuccessful raid. 11 Jewish people died when a bus was ambushed between Eilat and Tel Aviv. Hand grenade and shooting attacks were common on the roads. Nobody was safe in their homes either. Even the synagogues provided no refuge. The Arabs were angry, but in terms of dishing out violence, of getting their retaliation in first, the Israelis were no slouches. Led by military men, fervent and ruthless generals such as Raphael Eitan, Ariel Sharon, and Masha Dayan, Israel was prepared and well capable of looking after itself.
Yeah, what's up?
So.
Huh? Whoa.
Are you looking at his dick? Yes! Get that dick!
Was it Israel or Palestine?
It was the British.
It was the British.
They've been consistently the ones fucking this up.
Also,
and the UN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the United States. We're not sure.
A little bit.
We're not sure yet.
Sounds about right.
Like, neither side is particularly right, but then every once in a while the British just randomly picks a side, and it's like, we fully support you. And then they abandon that side and then go to the other side when...
They're just agents of chaos.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, they're like someone's DMs, you know? They just keep coming.
What do you mean by that?
Like, think about it. DMs are only agents of chaos. Only bad things happen in DMs.
I mean, I don't know if that's true.
It's true.
Sometimes DMs I mean, most of the time they're bad. But sometimes...
They always end bad. Alright, give me an example of someone DMing someone that ends well.
Someone DMing someone else.
Yeah, but like let's say, you know, let's throw a curveball into this relationship. And
It doesn't have to be a relationship. People can slide into the DMs just to get laid.
exactly. But let's think about that. That could be bad. They could get AIDS.
That could be bad.
AIDS.
What you're saying is that out of a probability of someone getting AIDS,
Right.
they could also not get AIDS and it could be fine.
Yeah, but they could also get hepatitis C.
They could also not. They could also just get laid and be fine. And
But
go
Baba,
separate ways.
they could also have a hollowness inside of them. And that hollowness can never be filled by sex or DMs.
They could have.
It can be filled by gimbal equipment.
Gimbal equipment. He said it, not me.
Gimbal equipment and 3D printed. That's what fills it up.
DMs, they're like, hey, you're trying to fuck. They fuck, and they're like, all right, cool, that's exactly what I wanted.
They
Bye.
typed that out after,
That's
after they
exactly what
left.
I wanted.
Yeah,
Thank you for the sex.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, but
pleasant
Baba,
sexual experience.
you're not thinking about the aftermath.
What?
The aftermath. You
But
know what I'm
just
talking
saying,
about.
some people legitimately just want to get laid.
Yeah,
Some
and then
people
after they want to get laid, they have a hollowness inside of them because God isn't there.
God hates.
God regrets the sex.
God does not watch everything.
If God watches everything, why do we have to give him our attention every Sunday in one specific place?
I love this meme where it's like a woman yelling at her daughter, her like 5-year-old daughter, and she's like, "Imagine their friends aren't real," and then it just cuts to them going to church on Sunday. And they're like praying.
That's pretty good.
That's like a Kathleen or wait, what's that meme with the lady who complains at the mall? There's like a name for that. Karen. That's like a Karen thing.
Or Karen.
What's Karen's daughter's name? Susan?
I would say Susie, but with an I.
Susie?
Yeah.
What about like Starlight?
That's that's either trailer trash or when you're really famous. Because when
Isn't
famous
that
people
odd?
and trailer trash people are the only people that can have weird names.
Which is exactly why Lana Del Rey is as popular as she is.
Checkmate. Like Gwyneth Paltrow had named her child Apple, and everyone just pretended that's normal.
She named her kid Apple?
She did.
Did Apple sue her?
Too young. Well, the jury's still out. Blue Ivy exists.
Who's Blue Ivy?
Beyonce's daughter.
Oh no.
Hell of a name. Northwest. Need I say more?
Yeah, but that's funny.
Yeah,
That's objectively really funny.
Yeah,
Like someone.
His opportunity.
He took it. He's shot in the dark.
Like, I'm only gonna get one chance.
No one's gonna question me right now, and that's why Kanye West is actually not a genius. Is he?
Objectively.
No, not objectively.
I say so.
Yeah, but you're fucking delusional,
Well, that's right.
and you have AIDS.
You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna call Palestine.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, all right. Are you?
I don't even know who I'd call. They're both very.
They're
very
both
violent.
bad.
Yeah.
They're both bad
They're
people.
Violent motherfuckers.
Everyone's killing everyone. Lots of death.
We are very close to the end of this part. So,
Okay.
Chapter 29, the Generals. Raphael Eitan was a soldier. He would one day rise to become chief of staff to the Israeli government, appointed by the terrorist-turned-politician Menachem Begin.
Who's the guy that got killed recently?
Um,
Because did we mention him?
the guy who life lasted one paragraph.
No. I mean, like the U.S. government killed some guy, right?
The U.S. government killed a guy?
Yeah, it was like a Palestinian, I think. It was that drone strike that everyone was like talking about. Do you
Are
remember?
you talking recently? Or
Yeah, like real recently.
Oh, I have no idea.
Like,
are you talking about the guy who got killed in Iran?
Was that the? Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Not right area.
He was a not good guy, so it's okay.
Yeah, but you know, do we have to do that?
Fair enough.
Did we have to?
Yeah. Well, no. We'll see.
I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know shit. All right, we're still learning. We're still learning.
We're gonna sort this out.
We're gonna sort this out one page at a time.
Eisen was born in Tel Adasham in Palestine in 1929 to Zionist settlers of Russian origin. At 16 years of age, he joined the commando brigade of the Haganah, and from there he rose through the ranks. He led a platoon of troops in the Battle for Jerusalem in 1948 when he was a sergeant. He soon led his own battalion of paratroopers in the campaign for Sinai. He was dropped behind enemy lines just east of the Mitla Pass, an important passageway through the mountains in the desert peninsula. A bold field commander, Eisen was a strict disciplinarian who was not one to suffer fools. He was fiercely anti-Arab, referring to Palestinians as cockroaches.
Whoa.
This attitude would later bring an end to his military career when he was being held responsible, along with Ariel Sharon, for the atrocities committed at the Sabra and Shatila refugee camps, which we haven't gotten to yet, and frankly I'm a little afraid of.
Wait, the refugee camps? Oh yeah, okay.
Apparently they're going to have some atrocities happening in some camps, so...
Oh boy, alright.
Which is weird, because they're Jewish?
Wait, the
Jews
camps, wait.
have refugee camps.
Okay.
And apparently some atrocities are going to be committed there.
Okay, alright.
So that's going to be weird.
Yeah, that is going to be weird.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, it's anyone's game.
Raphael lost his two sons in tragic circumstances.
No! Shit!
The one died from leukemia at age 10.
No!
The other Air Force pilot was killed in a training accident.
No!
According to Eiten's own later obituary in the Independent newspaper, when a friend came to the general's house to pay his respects and offer condolences and maybe shed a few tears for Raphael's son, the stone-faced old soldier gave his friend a hard stare and said, "No one cries in this house."
Damn. That's an unhealthy relationship, if I ever did hurt it.
Ariel Sharon was born in the Jewish settlement of Kfar Malal in Palestine in 1928 and joined the Haganah when he was 14 years old prior to the creation of the state in 1948. With the formation of the Israeli Defense Force, Sharon was opted into the ranks of the regular army, where his commitment earned him the trust of his superiors. He was wounded at Latran at the War of Independence when his unit was heavily mortared by a battalion of professional infantrymen from Jordan's Arab Legion in one of Israel's worst defeats of the whole war. 15 of the 35 men with Sharon were killed, and Ariel took himself 2 bullets.
Whoa.
In 1953, Sharon founded Unit 101, later renamed the Tanzanian Brigade.
I wonder if that's like their SEAL Team 6.
I think it might be.
Huh.
A cross-border raiding party which extracted punishment in Arab communities suspected of having guerrillas. They quickly earned a name for themselves for their sheer ruthlessness.
Uh-oh. Maybe not.
At Al-Bareg, a Palestinian refugee camp near Gaza, Sharon's units threw bombs through the windows of the makeshift homes, and as the people fled in terror, they shot them down with small arms fire and automatic weapons. Then came the attack at Khaiba in the West Bank. There, Unit 101 fired at the house to force villagers to remain indoors. Bombs were then thrown inside, bringing the roofs down on top of the residence. 600 kilograms of explosives were used to raise 45 houses. 69 people died, half of whom were women and children.
I mean, as awful as this is, I'm glad we have solid numbers.
Yeah, I don't know how we have such...
Yeah, how did they get very specific is my thing. Like, did they, like, say, okay, listen, we had 112 houses before. Let's count.
And then they just go through and count the corpses, I guess.
Wait, is that...
That might be a thing. I don't know enough about the military.
I don't know much either, honestly.
I could see that being a thing if they just want to have a general idea of, like, how much damage they're actually doing.
Yeah.
Ariel Sharon later claimed that he believed all the houses were empty when he destroyed them.
Alright, you... You're a liar, baby.
He did not say why he had blown them up in the first place, nor did he apologize for the deaths of the innocent civilians.
Hey guys, is he a bad guy? I feel like he might be a bad guy.
Sharon's men were said to be tasked with revenge attacks for any Palestinian assaults committed against a Jewish person. Other people claimed the unit's role was to instill terror into the Palestinian community, to cause them to flee, and free up the land for Jewish immigration and settlement.
Other people, we won't name names.
Whatever it was, Sharon obviously excelled at it, and by the mid-1960s, the former Haganah volunteer was a major general in the Israeli army.
Jesus.
As Menachem Begin, former terrorist leader and the Prime Minister of Israel, once said, Sharon is a brilliant general, but a very vicious man.
Yeah. He didn't give a shit about his kid's death.
So, no, this is a separate guy.
Oh, it was a different guy?
Yeah.
Who also didn't give a shit about his kid's death?
This is a guy who did war crimes, and the other guy, so far at least, has just been, had 2 kids die and he didn't care.
Oh.
So we've got 2 people that are kind of sociopathy,
A little unstable.
A little bit unstable.
Let's go ahead and say they're a little unstable.
If this book is to be believed.
Yes, which we're not entirely sure this book is to be believed.
Here's this next general, Masha Dayan.
Here's this other guy.
The ubiquitous general with an eye patch. He was born on a Jewish kibbutz in Delgania, Palestine, close to the Sea of Galilee in 1915. His parents were Russian immigrants.
He's got an eye patch, huh?
Apparently.
That's kind of neat.
Aged just 14, again, 14. Dayan joined the Haganah and served with the special police force to quell the Arab uprising that took place between 1936 and 1939. When the British governors outlawed the Haganah, Dayan was imprisoned for 2 years before he was released in 1941. Dayan fought alongside the British in World War II, where in Lebanon, while scrutinizing operations through a pair of field glasses, the lens was shattered by a bullet, costing him one eye.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Kind of badass. The patch Dayan came to wear gave him the appearance of a warrior, and for this, as well as his impressive war record, he became a darling of the Israeli public and the epitome of a military hero.
Oh no.
In the 1948 War of Independence, Dayan led the defense of Jewish settlements and commanded attack forces on the southern front against Egypt. He was also in charge of the forces fighting for Jerusalem. I'm hoping he's a secret good guy.
He's a good guy?
I'm hoping he's a secret good guy.
Well, my thing is, he has an eye patch, so I think that's kind of like the feature.
Right.
You know, because we need that hero feature.
Yeah.
But I also think that a lot of pirates had eye patches and they raped and plundered. But then again, we were okay with that for some reason.
But there has to be one general who's like, not even necessarily that he's pro-Palestine, but just that he's like, I don't like war. There just has to be.
Why?
Because like...
I thought the whole point of being a general was to like war.
No, but like a lot of
to
times,
practice war.
like when like just at least now, a lot of the generals and people in the military that are like high in leadership aren't like pro-war. They don't, because they understand the cost. Like,
they're pro.
They want like security and everything, but they don't want to actually go around like killing people.
So are
unless
you
they absolutely
saying?
believe they have to.
Are you saying they're pro-choice?
Yes. Yes. They're aggressively pro-choice.
I believe it actually. Wait.
Right?
You hear that? What are they doing? Dude, they must be tripping on shrooms or something. You did? Is that why you were so chill yesterday? Kinda. Where'd you get them from, Charlie? Tristan. Unhealthy boy.
From 1949 to 1956, Dayan kept the Arabs at bay, taking on Palestinian terrorists as well as launching raids on Egypt and Syria. During the Suez expedition, Dayan led Israeli operations and captured the whole of Sinai in a lightning strike that paved the way for the War of 1967. His achievements helped convince the military that Israeli forces could confront their hostile Arab neighbors and win. Dayan, like so many men who had risen through the ranks of the military, later moved into the arena of politics, where he was to treat the Arabs far better than he ever did on the battlefield.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's good.
That's not bad.
That's a step in the right direction. With military men of such standing, fiercely determined and committed to the cause, the future of Israel appeared to be in safe hands.
Oh. Okay.
Chapter 30, the Suez Crisis.
Oh.
Israel survived its neighbors' attempts to strangle it at birth, and in 1949, its first general election was held.
cool word choice, bro. Where's your thesaurus at?
Along with their entry into the United Nations, the new state proudly took its place amongst the international community. The military supremacy that Israel displayed in the War of Independence stood the ground in good stead as it consolidated its place in the region.
So wait, they're a double nation, right? They're split in half, right?
I think there's still technically just one new nation, but they don't have as much territory as when they started.
Okay.
The military supremacy that Israel displayed in the War of Independence of the country gets the inordinate retribution, according to one member of the Knesset, the Jewish parliament, was fueling the insurgency as Arab anger rose against the cruel injustices. In turn, a consolatory feeling towards the Palestinians was pervasive among the voters, and a moderate, Masha Sharat, replaced Ben Gurion as prime minister. Okay, they got a moderate.
Okay, but moderate is a...
Yeah, he's gonna get shot.
He's gonna get shot, yeah, that's right.
Elsewhere in the Middle East, as the Near East had become known, King Abdullah of Jordan was assassinated in 1951 while on a visit to Jerusalem. As he entered the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Mustafa Shukri Ashu, a Palestinian youth, came up behind him and shot him in the back of the head,
All right.
killing him instantly.
And there he goes.
No, that was the another guy.
Wait, so
That was the king of Jordan.
Oh.
Just unrelated.
Dude, what's with all these fucking kids?
A kid came up. Yeah.
Like, kids are shooting people left and right in this. This isn't good.
I think he was just a Palestinian leader, and then the kid didn't like him. Oh, okay. Here's the problem. Abdullah's crime had been to attempt to make peace with the new Jewish state.
Oh.
There you go. Every time a normal person walks into this situation, there's some young youth with a gun waiting, and then just
shoots them in the head, and they're dead, and you can't do shit.
Stupid.
It's annoying. They're never gonna make progress if they just keep shooting each other.
It's so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
The king's grandson, Prince Hussein, I really hope that's who was with him at the time of the murder, succeeded him in the Jordanian throne.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's Saddam Hussein.
That would really suck.
Yeah.
In Egypt,
what if that was the moderate?
No.
Oh.
It's a completely separate thing. Don't even go there. We have a moderate whose name is Masha Sharat.
Alright.
Hussein is the Palestinian.
Again, with the word moderate, I feel like he doesn't know what that means.
He's not going to last. In Egypt, there was a military coup when officers led by Gamal Nasser lost faith in their leaders after their humiliating defeat in the 1948. They had been badly let down, had no strategy, aging weapons, and a lack of rations. The consensus for a coup was in place. In this changing sea, Israel sailed strong. For David Ben-Gurion, appalled by any concessions to the Arabs, this flux amongst their neighbors gave Israel an opportunity to expel the remaining Palestinians and to seize all the land from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. With a group of loyal supporters, Ben-Gurion set a trap for Egypt, which had recently nationalized the Suez Canal, to the disgust of French and British shareholders. The Straits of Tiran, which serves the port of Eilat, Israel's only route by sea to southern Asia and Africa, had been blockaded by Nasser's troops. The Israelis were forced to act. With the aid of a spy network of embedded Zionists, they planned to blow up British government property in Cairo and Alexandria and make it look like the work of Egyptians to keep the Brits in the region. Nasser's regime had agreed on the withdrawal of British troops from the area of the canal where they had been stationed since 1936. If the British were to leave the area, their garrisons would be taken over by Egyptian troops, and the two Middle Eastern enemies would be left without a buffer zone, increasing tensions in the area. The plan failed when the incendiary devices failed to detonate, but it was the moderate government of Masha Sharat that paid the price, and ironically, it was to Ben-Gurion that the Jewish people turned in their latest hour of need. When the British and French decided to act to prevent a blockade of the Suez Canal, the Israelis, subject to the same embargo, joined forces in order to attack Egypt. Israel swept through the Sinai Peninsula, ceding territory and inflicting casualties on the Egyptian army with the support of the French and British aircraft before the intervention of the USA and the USSR led to the humiliating climb down from the igloo of French-Israeli forces. In particular, Russia threatened to flatten Israel, according to one Soviet report, and was happy to provide arms to the Egyptians to be used against the Jewish state. Israel was simply getting too big for its boots.
Too big for your britches there.
At the UN, in a vote to order an Israeli retreat from the occupied territory, the consensus among the member states was 65-1, the one vote against being Israel's, for an immediate ceasefire and withdrawal. On the 16th of March 1957, after 4.5 months of fighting, Israel departed from Sinai to her lasting chagrin, forced by UN consensus to forfeit her territorial gains. Israel had lost 172 soldiers in action, with 817 wounded, but she had again humiliated Egypt, and for her support of France and Britain in their attempt to regain control of Suez, Israel had extracted an agreement that would improve her own state security exponentially. Israel, with the aid of her allies, was about to go nuclear.
No! No!
It's worse.
We were doing so good, and then they used the nuclear.
We have one more chapter before we're done with this part, and then we're on to part 4, which is from 1967 to the first Intifada.
God, alright.
Now this next chapter is called Between the Wars.
Oh, okay, so we got a war coming up, but we're just chilling right now.
So the moderate Israeli prime minister was gone because he didn't get shot though. They just were like, no, we need this Suez Canal because we want the British and French.
Cool.
All right.
Alright.
We'll knock this out.
Okay.
The superpowers, the USSR and the USA, had forced the withdrawal of Israel from the Sinai Peninsula. Still, the new state, only 8 years old by 1956, had again defeated one of her Arab neighbors in a war, and proved that she was a force to be reckoned with in the region. That was before she took possession of a shipment of 20 tons of heavy water from Britain in 1958.
What's heavy water?
To be used at the top secret facility at Dimona in the Negev Desert to build the Middle East's first nuclear weapon.
All right. I'm going to assume it's nuclear water somehow.
There were other types of water making waves in the area. All right.
Making waves.
The
Nice.
Jordan River, the Dead Sea, and the Sea of Galilee were all important water sources, and access to them was a necessity for the inhabitants of the sun-soaked parched region fringed on three sides by desert. In 1955, Israel created the National Water Carrier to ship resources from the Jordan River to the expanding communities of Israel for both domestic and agricultural use. In response, an Arab water diversion project was established that threatened Israel's supply of this essential commodity. In 1964, Syria and Jordan began construction of a dam to divert the flow of Bani and Yarmouk rivers, both of which fed into the water resources required for the Jewish settlers. Israel reacted by bombing the dam before it could be completed.
Well, fuck.
Wait, why did they bomb the dam?
Wait, okay, so Israel wasn't making the dam.
No, they were making water-carrying ships.
Right.
Oh, okay. There was an Arab. The Arabs were diverting the water with the dam.
Oh.
To keep them away from Israel, and then Israel blew it up.
Okay.
Which I'm not super mad about.
I guess, yeah, I mean, you need water.
Yeah, between 1951 and 1967, at least a dozen outbreaks of violence between the neighboring states could be attributed to access to water. It was just one more element, although a vital one, to the never-ending series of conflicts. It was not as if there wasn't enough cause for contention anyway. And this showed in the continuation of wars by other means. At the first Arab summit in Cairo in January 1964, which had been called in response to Israel's River Jordan diversion scheme, it was decided that an organization should be formally enacted to serve the Palestinian people in their continued quest for justice. This became known as the establishment of the PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization. The stated aim of the PLO was the destruction of the state of Israel. This caused considerable concern in Israel, as one can imagine, and 2 letters of protest were duly dispatched to the United Nations with regards to the declaration. On New Year's Day 1965, the Fatah guerrilla wing of the PLO carried out its first attack, planting a bomb along the national water carrier, although it failed to detonate.
Dude, these bomb makers are not very good at their job.
They kinda suck. No,
Yeah.
they need to get those guys who stuck bombs in the fucking British soldiers.
Yeah.
And when they came to like hang them, then they blew up.
Yeah, those guys. Those guys knew what they were doing.
It's fucked up.
They had bomb. They were the bomb.
In May, Jordanian terrorists then launched an attack on a Jewish neighborhood in Jerusalem, killing 2 people and seriously wounding 4 more. Israel retaliated by besieging the Palestinian towns of Qala, Shuna, and Jenin in the West Bank. The second Arab summit dealt with the issue of water rights in the region, while the third, in September of 1965, held in Casablanca, called for a military buildup in Syria, Jordan, and Egypt with the aim of attacking Israel within 2 to 5 years, rather than dispensing with the art of surprise. On the 13th of November 1966, 2 Israeli army columns bombarded 3 Jordanian towns in response to a number of terrorist raids said to have originated in the area. In one of the guerrilla assaults, 3 IDF infantrymen were killed by a road mine.
Did you see that the virus reached Wisconsin?
Did it?
Yeah.
Since when?
I think a couple hours ago.
Buy it.
Yeah, dude. Look at that. Coronavirus.
How's it going? Are you editing? Oh.
Alright.
Hold on.
We gotta finish this chapter.
We're 2 pages away.
Baba!
Baba?
Baba!
We are trying to solve the Middle East.
We're trying to solve. We're trying to do Jared Kushner's job for him.
Okay. The guy needs help.
He doesn't know what he's doing. Have you seen him? Have you seen the empty look in his eyes?
We are literally 3 pages away from this chapter in part 3 of the 5-part series, and we are going to finish it. And then we can discuss, okay? Now, United Nations Resolution 228 censured the inordinate response from Israel, accusing it literally of overkill. In May of 1967, Egypt expelled the UN peacekeeping force that had been stationed as a buffer in the Gaza Strip.
Probably for the best.
The Straits of Tehran, despite the outcome in 1956, the last time this had happened, were closed again to Israeli shipping. The Israeli former foreign minister, Abba Eban, flew to the United States to seek their support in opening up the Straits, the closure of which was viewed by Israel as a declaration of war. The U.S. explained that they would consider the request, but that they needed time in order to do so. Evan returned to Israel and informed the cabinet of the U.S. position. The military men of the cabinet were enraged by the procrastination. The army was ready, victory would be theirs, so why should they wait? The cabinet voted on the proposal for going to war unilaterally with Egypt. 9 were in favor of a preemptive strike, with the same number voting to give America the time it needed to negotiate the opening of the waterway.
I kind of like that. It's like split down the middle. I feel like government should be
Exactly.
split down the middle.
And then no one does anything.
Yeah, but at least then if you know what, never mind. I guess it doesn't work. It doesn't work no matter what. Who
The
cares?
hearts of the room felt the debate had moved on. It no longer mattered that the routes in Eilat had been closed. More pressing were the columns of Egyptian soldiers massing in Sinai. That was where the immediate danger lay. Also, the IDF stood in a state of heightened readiness. They could only maintain that position for a short time, as volunteers had been drafted in from all walks of life. And the economy would soon start to suffer, while delays in mobilization only played into Arab hands. But not everybody shared the general's confidence. Yitzhak Rabin, who, as chief of staff, was responsible for planning the war, this is the guy whose kids are both dead, was so unsure of victory that he sought out David Ben-Gurion, visiting at his home to seek advice. Rabin was shocked when the former prime minister said, "It is all your fault. We must not go to war. We are isolated." In Jordan, King Hussein felt equally alone. The Syrian front was the scene of the most skirmishes between the Jews and the Arabs, but now that Egypt had signed a pact with Syria, it was Jordan that feared having to tackle Israel without the support of any allies. With this in mind, Hussein flew to Cairo on the 30th of May and met President Nasser in secret. The two were not friends, but they shared a common enemy. Hussein wanted Nasser to give him the same agreement that Egypt had with Syria. A stunned Israel awoke to find its Arab neighbors in unison. An attack on any of these states...
Stunned Israel!
attack on any of these states would now bring a tripartite response. Israel installed Masha Dayan as Minister of Defense as the Arab states focused on Muslims. Also drafted into the war cabinet was Menachem Begin. Several battalions of Iraqi soldiers were also heading for Jordan to reinforce the eastern flank. The pressure was rising. President Nasser had hoped that this troop movement into Sinai would ensure there would be no attack on her partner Syria, but his bluff was about to be called. Realizing this, on the 2nd of June, Nasser called his army chief, Abdul Hakim Ammar, and his Air Force chief, Siddiqui Mohammed, into his office. Nasser predicted Israel would attack in just 2 or 3 days' time, but still he couldn't afford to strike first. To do so, and be seen as the aggressor, might invite a U.S. military response.
Yep.
The president asked Mohammed how much of their Air Force might be lost in an early Israeli strike. Mahmoud was dismayed. It was his mistake in the Suez Crisis of 1956 that he had left most of their Air Force on the ground when the British and French had destroyed Egyptian planes while they were still on the runway. Their only chance of victory was to strike first. Defense was not an option, but Nasser would not allow it. Chastened, Mahmoud offered 20% as his opinion of the losses to be suffered in a preemptive Israeli strike. Well, said Nasser, that leaves us 80% for our response.
Jesus.
Meir Amit, head of Mossad, the Israeli intelligence service, had flown to the U.S. to speak with Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. Boy.
Was he good?
He was the guy in charge during the Vietnam War.
Oh.
I mostly blame LBJ for that.
Well, they shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, and he knew. He knew that. McNamara was apparently one of the people who was like, we're wildly out of our depth here. We need to cut this off. But LBJ was not into that.
Was LBJ a Democrat?
Yes, he was.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I think, honestly, from the 70s through the 90s, Democrats and Republicans weren't very different.
Huh, okay.
They were pretty much the same.
Alright.
Ammon explained that the war was inevitable. McNamara was cautious and favored sending a ship into the Straits of Tehran to draw Egyptian fire and provide the pretext for the Israeli response. By the way, Ammon explained, war had to happen. McNamara asked...
By the way!
It's gonna happen.
Listen.
McNamara asked how long the conflict would last. A week, Ammon replied. How many would die was McNamara's next question. On the Israeli side, it's less than 6,000 that had died in the War of Independence. In 1948, Ammon explained. Okay, said the U.S. official, do what you gotta do.
Jesus.
Mir and me returned to Israel and immediately went into session to brief the cabinet. America, he explained, will not stand in our way. The votes were cast. 16 opted for war, with 2 abstained. The intelligence chief told Dayan, the defense minister, that the U.S. still favored drawing Egyptian fire as a pretext for the assault, but the confident former general saw no need to delay. War now was war inevitable. It did not matter what pretexts or formalities were used to justify the engagement. Don't worry, Diane told them. We'll start it. The state of Israel, born in 1948, had suffered a difficult birth, childhood, and teenage years. Now, at the age of 19, she was about to come of age.
All right, let's not say it like that. Book.
And this is gonna shock you. It's probably gonna get worse.
Yeah, considering we have what, another third or so of the book left.
Yeah. Well, this was a good talk.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
So what did we learn today?
I
I don't even know.
Everyone sucks.
Everyone sucks.
Why were you yelling, Serrano?
God damn. So that was an interesting hour. Except it wasn't even an hour. Although for you guys maybe it was an hour. For me it was substantially less because I didn't have buffering. Take that. Fill this in. I'm very close to being done here with Donald. So the only thing left is to do one background for this scene, and I can call it a den. And also, this is why I hate coloring. It's boring. Yeah, cheating, my favorite method. Okay. Just a a smidge of a highlight here. What are you guys talking about?
Magic of cinema.
It's not magic. It turns out it's just a lot of pain.
It's all lies.
It's all lies. It's just suffering, pain, and hatred. It's mostly self-loathing. USA. USA. Self-loathing, yum. No! Fuck off! I love you. Serbada. 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 How's it going? that. Oh, my neck, my back, my poos, and my crack bus. Hey, Baba. Did you see the Filthy Frank channel? Yeah, so this guy, he's like a white guy. He dressed up as Filthy Frank, and he kind of nailed the accent, and he made like a new Filthy Frank episode. And people were okay with it for a while, but then he just kind of dropped off the map. But it was pretty good. There's a new Filthy Frank episode with a knockoff Filthy Frank. It's pretty good. No, because real Filthy Frank is Joji, and Joji's a music artist. And somehow he made that transition without being canceled. Which, you know, good for him. No hate. I'm glad he got out. You're about to eject the goddamn hard drive? Just shut it down. Shut it down. Save your stuff and shut it down. Also, you should save a project file on the desktop. Nice. Hey, Chris.
What?
Hi, Chris.
Good time.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
If I invest in Enron,
No. When do cookies come for Girl Scouts?
that seems like a you problem.
Yeah.
Oh, alright.
No, but like when you order them.
How long ago did you order them?
Like February?
Did they give you like a tracking number?
No.
Did you just give money away?
No.
How do you know?
Fuck!
Chris Mydra gave his money away.
Keep stealing my goddamn cookie money. I'm just out here trying to get a box of Thin Mints.
Did you?
Maybe 2 boxes.
Do you know what the secret to eating Thin Mints is?
4 to 6 boxes.
No. It's freezing them.
I've heard that, yeah.
They're very good when they're frozen. It's kind of like Coke. How if you drink, or how if you do big things of cocaine. Kill yourself.
Guys, are you okay? Oh my god.
That's sick burn, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Someone call an ambulance for my
God.
bird.
I've witnessed a murder.
Oh wait, they're going at it again, guys. Wait. Quiet. There's still a cookie left from my mom. Although I think that's yours, Serbata.
You're the best.
Chris. You're the best!
That was the fakest laugh.
Chris, you're the best.
Fake? You're so fake.
Chris, what's wrong with being fake?
Whoa.
What's wrong with being fake? Cal does it all the time.
You're not real.
That's what Cal does.
The doctor said you're not real.
A figment of your imagination, Chris.
Not an accurate human being.
Do you remember when Joe made a puppet film?
I do.
And it wasn't real,
Whoa.
but it was real?
Whoa.
I know. I still say he should have gone, like, you know, full dark with it. You know? Like, made Zori come out of the closet, and instead of comforting the girl, he would just fucking eat her. I think that'd be so cool. I would watch the shit out of that. Like, instead of, like, doing all this shit where he, like, takes her through the brain and shit, and he just, you know, he just, like, he literally just fucking eats her, and then he just, like, burns the house down.
That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. I'd watch the shit out of that. Mm-hmm. Burn it down. Burn it to the ground. Hey, Serbata. Hello. Did you order Girl Scout cookies too, or was that just Chris getting scammed? Were they at our door? Were they, like, at our door, or, like, how did they... Oh. Oh, yeah, there's that kind of crazy-looking mother there. Yeah. Tell me why all Girl Scout moms look a little insane. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. I kind of want cookies, but I know I don't need them, you know? Come on, there we go. All these, like, fucking little pixels here need to really fuck off. They're impeding my ability to color garbage in. There we go. Well, that. All right. No one yell. Everyone's yelling. Rabble. So excited for this fight scene coming up, 'cause then I'll get to animate in black and white. I was thinking about the transition into black and white because I don't really like the idea of just suddenly, like, snapping my fingers and everything is in black and white. I think I'm going to have him draw his guitar, and as he draws it out, the world kind of becomes black and white. And then I can get really loose with it because I like loose things. I like to keep things as loosey-goose as possible, as loose in the loosey-goose. I'm making a vagina joke, a loose vagina joke, but as we all know, the more you use it, the stronger it becomes, ladies. Which is interesting. Also, I was I was reading a Reddit article about someone doing cankles or cankle exercises, and they just fucking like orgasmed while they were doing the exercise, and people thought they were having a seizure. So, more power to you. Do that. It's good, probably. I don't know. I'm not a woman. I could be, but I'm not. There we go. Oh. I don't think I got this other one over here. Nope, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, bitch. So after we hit here, I have to come back in with the black line along the edge here and hit that. Okay, fucking hell. Cool with that. I think I'll watch One Piece after I finish some other stuff. And I gotta do my taxes. Fucking hate taxes. I mean, I like what taxes do, but I don't really know what I'm doing with taxes. Skin in my mouth. Ew. It's gross. I feel like I'm missing something major from this, but I can't tell you what it is. I think last night. Ooh, what is that? I left you guys off with this stuff, and I finished most of it. I have to fill in her book, obviously here. But I'll do that in a second. And I sped some parts of it up, so she goes, "Fine," and then he goes, "Okay," and then he goes, "Fine." She goes, "Fine." He goes, "Fine, fine, fine, fine." Tap, tap. Whoop. Fine, I'm getting out of here without you. Fine. Fine. And then she says fine again or something. I don't know. I can't decide. I'll figure it out. I like this shot though. This is so fun. Look at him. He's like, fine. Oh, that's cute. Oh yeah, and so the buckle, I cheated and I'm using this same shirt color for it. So that's been my color life hack for today. I also have the Angel of Music stuck in my head from fucking Phantom of the Opera. So thank you, Addie, because that was one of 3 movies we watched that I saw, because she would watch Reba, that movie, and I think Sound of Music were the 3. And if you've ever seen Reba, you know how fucking atrocious Reba is. In, you know, the nicest way possible. As in, you know, I have no angst towards Reba herself, but her show was not great. So, sorry, Reba. Hopefully this pen is a little more charged. I'm going to charge it overnight. Alright. Just going to go in through here, like so. Ah, that's why. I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Also, Christine in that movie is a dumb hoe. Like, think about it. Just think about it. Like, she literally, like... She's like, yeah, this guy is my father. You know? Oh, man. Alright. She's like, yeah, this Angel of Music guy who is singing to me right now, that's my dad. Just don't question it. And then Ralph was like, what? Your dad? What? And then Christina's like, yeah, dude, don't you believe me? And Ralph's like, well, I do want to get my dick wet. So then, you know, he believes her, and then, you know, all hell breaks loose because it's fucking, you know, Phantom of the Opera. And, you know, he's a phantom. But he's not a phantom. He's just a fucking troll who sits in the attic. God damn it. And Phantom of the Opera is a hack. It's a hack, I say. Just like Cats. Cats is a hack. People who like Cats, they're hacks, I think, question mark. I saw Cats. It was bad. Would not see again. Oh, I got my back. Let's fold this in here. Very close to being done with it. And the reason I have this guy up one is because of the fact that it looked very unnatural just stopping where it was stopping. So I'm also going to ditch that. That's better. Okay, now I can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, it's a little nicer. Honestly, I'm just going to go through and do this for all of them. So, Christine, wait. No, Ralph. I can't. He's my father. And then Goldmember's like, Austin Powers Faja. He's what? Faja. He's Faja. Alright. Let's play a game I like to call Recite the Incredibles script word for word from scratch. Alright, 3. Well, we're not gonna do word for. I'm gonna try my best. So, The Incredibles. I'm gonna set the stage. All right. So there's the police sirens, right? And they're tracking an armed robbery, and then we cut to Mr. Incredible in a car, and he's in his car, and he presses a button, and he's like, oh, I can get that car robber, and then he fucking presses another button, and he goes, and the car drives off, and it's got like exhaust fire thing behind it, but then while he's driving on his way to catch these robbers, there's a fucking old lady who stumbles out in the middle of the road, and she's like, Mr. Incredible, Mr. Incredible, and then he's like, what is it, ma'am? And then she's like, my cat Squeaker won't come down. And then he's like, stand back, ma'am, there might be trouble. He walks back, and he tries to grab the tree, that the cat's stuck on. He's shaking it around, and so he's shaking around the tree, and then these cops, they're chasing this bad guy, and they come into frame, and he looks at them, and he looks at the tree, and he looks at the cat, and he looks at the old lady or something. I don't think he actually looks at the old lady. Anyway, so he shakes the shit out of the tree, and the cat is not coming down. So he fucking yeets the cat out of the tree. It falls down, and then he what does it do? Oh yeah, he slams the tree down in front of the car. All right, of the robbers. And then he's like, "Oh, no big deal, people." He sounds like that shitty knockoff of One Punch Man show that everyone's obsessed with. It starts with an M. My Hero Academia. Terrible show. Don't watch that show. You weebs. Anyway, so to recap again, he's chilling. You got him. He's like, all in a day's work. And he gets back in his car, and then in the car is Incrediboy, and then Par's like, how did you? Who bought my car? Get out of my car. Incrediboy's like, no, I'm Incrediboy, and he's like, oh, you're that kid from the fan club, Brody, Buddy. My name is not Buddy. It's Incrediboy, and then he ejects him out of the car seat, and he's like, you'll regret this, Mr. Incredible. And then Mr. Incredible drives off, and here's bus robbery. I still got time, because he's talking Frozone, and there's a helicopter or something. Anyway, so he's on a roof. He's like, so what are you doing here, robber? I can't remember. He says something like, and then Elastigirl comes in from nowhere, and she bops him right in the fucking face. And he's like, I could have gotten that guy. And Elastigirl's like, you need to be a little more flexible. And he's like, what are you doing later? And he's like, and she's like, I have a previous engagement. And then she yeets out of there, and he's like, and then it cuts to something I can't remember. There we go. Paste insert. Okay, cool. So anyway, to recap, Bon Voyage, right? He's goes after a bank robbery, and he goes up to Bon Voyage, and he's like, hey, Bon Voyage, what are you doing? And then the kid comes in, he's like, hey, I'm with Incrediboy, and then he's like, what? And then he presses Bon Voyage is like, Incrediboy? And then he presses a button on his little wrist thing, And then fucking after he presses that button on his wrist thing, you know, he yeets over to Bon Voyage. He's like, look at these cool things. I can fly. Can you fly or something like that? And then he's like, fly home, buddy. I work alone. And then Bon Voyage is like, it's incroyable. And then or no, I think he says something along those lines. Anywho's it. So after he says, right? You know, he's like, look what I can do. And then Bon Voyage throws like a little bomb on Buddy's cape. And then that's like, you know, a prelude to no capes, right? So anyway, so after that happens, Mr. Incredible's like, no, buddy. And he grabs onto his, like, you know, cape. He's like, well, you're ruining my flight pattern. And then they're flying around, and then he rips it off, etc., etc. Falls on a train, bad press, gets married. Cut to, what is he in his office? No, he's not in his office yet. He drives home in his car. Yeah, he drives home in his car. He looks miserable. He gets out of his car and he like grabs the hold of the top of the car and he cracks it because there's a skateboard and he trips under the skateboard. And then he like grabs it and then he like, oh, that kid with the bubble gum is sitting there at the fucking end of the driveway. And Mr. Incredible's like, yeah, what are you looking at? Look, what are you looking at? And the kid's, no, that's later. Sorry. Anyway. Okay. To recap, so now he's at home and he's like, and he's talking with his wife, and his wife's like, so, bye, honey, how's school? Oh, but we missed their whole school scene. Oh, because Dash got sent to the principal's office again. Where does that come in? That's got to be between the car thing. Yeah. Anyway, that's a great scene. What a great scene. I don't remember it very well. I have to watch The Incredibles again, I think. Honestly, maybe I don't. You know what? Never mind. I don't. Anywho's it. So, Bob got a steak for the carnivore, and then Bob's like, good. And then she's like, no, honey, that's bad. What? Dash got sent to the office again. What for? He put a tack on the teacher's chair during class. Didn't see anything. It wasn't bad. You didn't see anything. Well, they caught you on tape and you still got away with it? You must have been booking. How fast do you think you were going? Bob, we are not encouraging this. I'm not encouraging. I'm just wondering how fast he thinks he was going. Honey! And he breaks the plate. I was like, right, I gotta pay to fix the car. I gotta pay the table. She's like, the car? What happened to the car? And he like looks pissed. He's like, never mind, I'll get you a new plate. And he grabs his newspaper and he walks off. I can't remember what happens next. There's some oh yeah, it's bowling night. That's right. So Frozone comes over. I'm gonna stop. This is fucking stupid. God damn it. That's a good movie though. I like that movie a lot. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna do that. There we go. That's better. So I need to finish her background for that. And I just copied this over. Did I miss some inner mouth? No? Okay. Cool. Look, I'll show you. I'll get the police, buddy. I think the next... I might cut the shot where he, like, helps her up. Because... it's quite a bit of animating. It's a lot of very difficult animating, actually. So I think I'm just going to cut to them walking. I'll do that Rick and Morty shot, I think. Oh, man. My neck is destroyed. I like this shot a lot, though. This is a nice one. Fine. Alright, let's watch it all the way through. Tap on swipe. Fine, I'll get out of here without you. Fine. Alright, I'll get out of here without you. I think that's what he says. And then she's like, fine. And he's like, fine. And then I think I want to have her say fine again, actually, so I'm not done with this scene yet. Oh my god. Alright, that's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm gonna go ahead and just use him as reference, kind of. Alright. Okay. This is gonna be annoying. Does this also make sense in the flow of things? He said, not sure whether or not it made sense in the flow of things. Excuse me. So last we left off, he goes, why? And she goes, you know why? And he goes, fuck off. You wanted to see it just as much as me. And then she goes, you know why we can't? And then he says, fine. And then he like looks at it, swipes for it, and he says, fine. Well, I'm getting out of here without you. And she says, and then she says, fine. And then he goes, fine. There's a lot of the word fine here. You know what? I'm not even going to do her saying fine. I'm just going to have a freeze frame of her face. I think that's a little better. I'm going to do that because I want to make it just slightly different. I promised myself I couldn't play any video games until I was done with this scene. So, I really want to be done with this scene. So I can play Star Citizen. Because the new update's actually pretty great. And I have a Carrack that is far too large for me. And, you know, I can't wait to use that bitch. And I made her pupils a fuck ton smaller than his because she's still pissed off. Yeah, that's fine. She's a much sharper chin. Comparatively to him, I think. Okay, and also her hair. I'm gonna have to do something about it. So, let's go ahead and unmute that. Oop, no, go back to that. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna make her ears slightly taller. I like the idea of this I wanted this to kind of give you like a look at how kind of similar looking they are. Because, you know, they're siblings. They should look relatively similar. At least a bit anyway. Although that skull makes very little sense. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and I want this to kind of be the definition of clean for me, in terms of like this is a clean slate of these two characters looking at you, you know? I like being able to kind of know where my characters are in the world, like relative to their outfits and all that. I mean, obviously, but like it's kind of fun to see my memory get better at their appearance. really hoping this shot will kind of drive home the eye thing. In that they both have green eyes. Cool. You dig? I'm gonna have a blink. Yeah, I'm gonna have her blink. It's just odd how much of him I see in me. I think we look vaguely similar. Alright, cool. I'm gonna give her eyelashes, cause she good, she thick girl. Yeah, nice. I love that. I think that's so cool. Alright, let's go ahead and do the hair darker. And honestly, I don't need to do much with this because she has, you know what, actually, we're just going to go ahead and do this because it makes sense that the under bit of her hair here would be dark, so let's just go ahead and do that. Yeah. Then we'll do the same over here. Yeah, and I don't need much dark hair from her. I think that's totally fine. Yeah, but I want to add hair highlight to that. Which is like, oh, that does look pretty good, huh? Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, no, no, no. Bum, no, no, no. Bum, no, no, no. Bum, no, no, no. Who's jealous? Who's jealous? Who's jealous? Who's jealous of whom? I'm not just jealous. Just what you're doing. I'm not a bitter. Force fed till they drop in. So the other thing, oh, I didn't think about that, is that she's gonna have more of the shadow on this side versus the other side. Cool. Her nose is not that fat. There we go. That looks lovely. Lovely, I say. And then we'll grab the green again that I'm so fond of. hot. It's great. I don't know if no one will know this except me, obviously, but my sister lives pretty far north, so she gets a lot more sun than I do. Pants, strap, and then shirt highlight, and then just shirt white. I'm gonna do some fun shit. Hold on. You ready for this? Bop, 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 bop. Hell yeah, love it. No, unnecessary. Maybe I don't want to do that actually. Oh, I do want to have a little bit of a chin right there. And then when you have skin darker, does that make sense? Yeah, makes sense. I'm gonna toss it in. I might as well. Ugh, I want her to say fine too, again. Okay. Alright, I guess if it's what it takes. I already finished this, so I mean copying it a few times won't be that hard. Paste. Paste, 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 paste. Paste. So I'll have her say fine as well, but I won't have her blank. I think that's appropriate. I can have her mouth move though. This might be super easy actually, so that's gonna be good. That is weird. I know, right? I know, right? I wish someone would buy my drone. It's got 18 views. Cool. Yeah, someone should buy it. It's a cool drone. If anyone wants to get in on that. Okay. I'm gonna get her audio in, I think. So let's go ahead and yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.